All right. So finding your comfortable seat. As you find your comfortable seat, you know, our main reason for wanting to be comfortable is that we end up coming into a place of stillness so that we can really allow our energy body to also have its best chance of being vibrant as well. So having the right support so that your spine feels comfortable, so that your hips are comfortable, your shoulders are comfortable, your neck and head are comfortable. So just doing any movements that are going to help you find that place that you may need to right now. And again, just a reminder that allow this to be the class that's absolutely best for you. If there's any of the movements that we're going to do with our bodies today that don't quite feel right for you, please find what does feel right. Either maybe doing just lightly less of that movement, or maybe not doing that particular movement, maybe going back to something that felt better for your body earlier. Try to stay, again, within, as we create this collective energy as a group, within kind of where we're at and what we're talking about at the moment, but do find what is right for your particular body. All right, with that said, finding that your eyes are either soft or closed. If you're using a soft gaze, just find a gazing spot and then soften your gaze so it's not really in focus. You're not letting the visual world distract you. Take some nice full breaths in and out. And just for a moment, I want you to just pay attention to the body. And just feel for a moment your legs and your pelvic floor. The base of our body connecting down nicely with this earth, and in fact, imbuing earth within this part of our body. Feeling the groundedness of the lower part of your body, pelvic floor, down through your legs, all the way to your feet and toes. Earth, connected, grounded. And now bringing your breath and awareness into the pelvic bowl itself. Picturing perhaps even here like the shape of a bowl within your pelvis. And in this bowl, beautiful, clear water. Fluid. Planting that image, that element in the pelvis. Now from just above the pelvis, a little bit below the navel, all the way up to the base of the throat. Let your awareness go here, inside of the torso part of our body. And feeling the fact this is where the majority of our organs are. A lot of the work of our body happens here. And imagine we're planting the element fire in this part of our body. Just below the navel, coming up to the base of the throat. Fire, transformation happens here. And now from the base of the throat, up to the eyebrow center. Let your awareness and your breath come here. And in here we plant the element of wind. here in this place where thoughts occur, and we need the ability to move quickly from one thing to the other in our mind. Planting element of wind. And now feeling with your awareness the very top of your head, from about that eyebrow center up and extending beyond the crown of your head. Your breath and awareness there. And in here we plant the element of space. Absorbing the spaciousness that is our potential. And now that we've aligned ourselves with these elements, just know that these elements exist within our whole body, not just solely in these parts. And we exist in the harmony of each of them working together. And if you think about our earth, even within our earth, there's spaciousness. Wind, fire, and water. All of the elements work with each other. So just take a few breaths now and just notice if there was any one part of you that connected more than the others. And that's okay too. We will go through times of having more of one thing in our life than another. Yet part of a great yoga practice is in bringing in this harmony and balance back within us, both within our body, but within our mind, within our soul as well. So just allow your breath now to feel space coming down into the wind, wind coming down into the fire, fire coming down into the water, and water coming down into the earth. The melding and harmony of all the elements that we have. Allow yourself to feel your breath now traveling throughout your body. Your inhale, feeling this sense of expansion. And your exhale, bringing back into a center place. Taking a couple more breaths and just feeling that gentle movement of breath, a sense of expansion, and returning back to center with every breath. Right now, bringing your palms to your heart. Find for you, what is the intention that you want to work with? Perhaps this play of expansion and contraction in your life. Perhaps finding a sense of balance. What is your intention this morning? Once you have that intention, then find to whom or to what you wish to dedicate your practice today. Planting that seed as well. And now together we'll chant Om, resonating in Ah, low, U at the heart, the nasal sound right in the center of the head, and the silence arising up afterwards. Exhaling together and inhaling. Ah. May we practice together in harmony and joy. Namaste. All right. As you're ready, go ahead and release your arms back a little bit and just stretch your legs out in front. Go ahead and wiggle a little bit. And just for a moment, move your toes, your feet, roll the ankles a little, and just allow the legs to roll a little side to side. All right. We're going to go ahead and cross the legs again for just a moment. So you may want to find your legs crossed in the other way, either the other leg on top or in a different manner. And all I want you to do is we're going to just work with a little bit of breath work here to start off with. So I just want to remind you in general about kind of our breath. There's a lot of different ways that people will teach breathing, and certainly I've taught a number of them myself. What I want you to do is I want you to find right now your natural breath. And I want you to get a sense that your natural breath feels comfortable. It should feel like you're filling your lungs comfortably and you're emptying your lungs comfortably. And if nothing else, that's all that you simply need to feel when you're breathing. And today, all I want you to do is I want you to focus on this sense of, do you feel expansion with the inhale? And do you feel this sense of contraction or coming back to center on your exhale? So just take a couple breaths like this. You can keep your eyes soft gaze, or you can close your eyes again to tap into this. And with this simple contraction and expansion, I'm just going to direct you to think in terms of a couple ways of this contraction and expansion. In the next couple breaths, I want you to think about the feeling of your breath expanding up and down in your body. So see if you can breathe down into the pelvic floor and up through the crown of your head. And then on the exhale, bring it back to a center point. Inhale, expanding up and down. And exhale, returning back to a center point. One more breath like that. Inhaling and exhaling. Relax for a moment. And again, remember, you don't need to over-breathe. You don't need to take a bigger breath than is normal, just thinking about those directions. This next time, what I want you to do is I want you to think about the directions side to side. You may even want to just put your right arm out for a moment and your left arm out. This is our side to side. And you can keep your arms out if you want to move your arms with this, but I want you to think about with your inhale extending out side to side, and with your exhale, again, coming back into center. You can place your hands on your heart or together, however you want to do it, or give yourself a hug. Inhaling, expanding out side to side. Do this with the pace of your breath, and exhaling. Sense of coming back to center. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Back to center. Good. So now we've done relax for a moment. We've done this feeling of up and down with the breath, side to side with the breath. Now I want you to think about front and back. And you could always do this with your arms. You could think of your arms going one out in front and one going back behind. And then your exhale would again come back to center. You could always switch arms. If that's helpful, move this with your arms. If not, you can just keep your arms still. Inhale. Thinking of expanding out front and back. And on the exhale, coming back to center. Try this a couple more times. How do I expand front and back with breath? And the sense of returning back to center. One more. And then come back to center. And just relax your arms for a minute. And just return back to normal breathing, but just notice if your normal breath feels any slight difference. Observe if one of those planes that we went to, up and down, side to side, front and back, felt more like you could connect with it than others. Just noticing, not judging. So particularly if you notice there was one of those planes that felt like, I'm not quite tapping into that. What I want you to do is take your hands onto your body. Like say, for example, your side body, you felt like it was tough for you to kind of connect with a sense of your breath going out to the sides. And just maybe take your hands and just rub that part of your body. All right, so if your side body was tough, maybe kind of rub the sides of your body, inner and outer legs, sides of your body, maybe the sides of your head, maybe the outside and the inside of your arms. Just give yourself some proprioceptive input there. If front and back was a tougher one to connect with, then maybe again, lightly massaging, I'm trying not to mess with my mic, the front of your body, and then the back of your body, or if just the back of your body was a tough part to connect with, maybe just touching the back of the head, the back of your back, maybe the back of your legs. And if up and down was tough, maybe come up to the top of your head. And you can, of course, do all of these with me. And the bottom of your feet. In the privacy of your home, you may want to do your pelvic floor. You guys on camera, I wouldn't necessarily suggest that, but you may want to kind of feel your pelvic floor a little bit, ground yourself down a little with that. All right. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come into and just doing a breath that I hope is going to kind of give us some vibrancy from the inside out. We want to embody and feel ourselves embodied in our breath expanding in all of these directions during this practice. But we also want to feel this vibrancy inside. And this particular breath is one way that I just feels like it just kind of brings me into this awareness of my center as well. And this is the buzzing bee. If you want to switch your sitting position at this point, because your legs are tired of being in this position, go ahead and switch your leg position. In buzzing bee, I think we might have done this a couple times. You're going to use your fingers to close your ear flaps, and then you're going to hum. And the idea is to create a sound. Some of you may find that you want to lightly play with the movement of your jaw as you're humming, to create the sound of this bee kind of coming into the center of the hive, which is in the center of your brain. Back behind here, kind of in line with the ears, right back in that center place. You can play with the pitch of your voice. You can bring your voice higher or lower, or you can try to expand it out or bring it in, or maybe it feels like you want to do it in the front of your mouth or in the back of your mouth. You can play with all of these dimensions as well as you do this. So we're going to do 3 breaths and 3 hums. We all breathe a different amount. So just take those 3 breaths. You'll take an inhale in through the nose, and then you'll exhale and hum. Then breathe in 2 more times and hum. Once you finish the 3rd time, just go ahead and bring your arms down and just observe if you feel a sense of coming into center. So we'll start together, but we'll all probably end at a different time. I'm not going to do it really loud, otherwise I'd probably break the speaker. Inhaling, close your ear flaps and hum. Once you finish your 3 breaths, just allow your arms to relax and observe. And as you're ready, I'm going to have you come on down and on to your back on your mat. Coming on down onto your back. And what I want you to get a sense of is from our buzzing, from the feeling of the breath moving up and down in the body, side to side in the body, front and back in the body. Just for a moment, lying here on your back, and just feel your breath, feel that gentle contraction and expansion right now. May feel a little different than when you were sitting. May feel a little bit more like you can feel more in your back body. Some of you may feel more in your front body. Some of you may feel a little bit more of the side to side or the up and down. Just noticing. And all I want you to do right now is to just start to feel, what does your body want to do in rhythm with this expansion and contraction? Is there any movement that maybe you want to do as you breathe in and out right now? Just find that natural feeling for you. It may feel like you don't want to move. You may feel like you just simply want to stay still right now. But feel and start to embody with the pace of your breath, the expansion and contraction you may want to do. Let your intuition tell you what you want. All right, now coming back to center, what I'm going to suggest is we're going to go through a couple things. Again, if any of these don't feel right for your body, then just simply don't do them. Find what feels right for your body. Right now, what I want you to do is start to take your arms up overhead, and if that's not comfortable, at least out to the side. And let your arms come back and down onto the ground if they're comfortable. Extend your legs out if that's comfortable. And what I want you to do is, can you find that reaching your fingers away from your toes? Try the expansion of that, and then just lightly contracting back to center on your exhale. Inhale, really expand in that way. And the exhale, coming back to center. One more time. Inhale, expanding. And on the exhale, what is the best contraction you can do? Do you want to hug your body in towards itself, drawing your knees in, your arms in? You don't have to stay still in this. Again, gentle expansion and contraction. So moving back and forth between just a nice full expansion. Maybe now you want to explore out to the sides a little bit with your arms and your legs. And an exhale, drawing the back in. Again, the movements can be as big or as small as feels right to you. Just keep this moving with your breath. It may be a little hard to do front and back lying on your back, but maybe you can explore some front and back expansion. Maybe by arching the spine and then curving it back. Do a couple more of these. Expanding and contracting. Now coming back to center, just resting for a moment, just notice how that felt within your body. How much do you feel connected with any parts of your body right now, or there's still parts of your body that maybe you don't have this sense of contraction and expansion in yet? Just take, if it's comfortable for a moment, and place your hands on about your navel and just below your navel. Remember how in some of the weeks where we've been doing some of this more flowing body embodiment exploration, we've kind of worked from this center just below the navel, sometimes called khanda, sometimes called dantian. And just for a moment, I want you to imagine that from here up through, and you can place one hand on right about your sternum, lower sternum, that heart center. Kind of think of this area as the center now of the body. And just with your hands now, you're reminding yourself of this being the center of my body. And just for a couple more breaths, how would you radiate or expand out from this center? And just explore that for about 3 to 5 more breaths. Now that you've touched the center, how with your inhale will you radiate out from this center? And how do you want to contract back into it? Moving arms and legs as you want. Maybe just simply moving with your breath. That's okay too. Couple more breaths of doing this exploration of radiating out from the center with an inhale and coming back into center with your exhale. And once you've done those 3 to 5 breaths, go ahead and just bring yourself with your arms relaxing down again at your side. Just be in a relaxed place. Your knees can be bent or your legs can be out straight. And just check in again with your body and your breath and your emotions. Again, at this time in our world, as expanding or opening our borders or going back out into the world may feel a little hesitant, can you start to find at least the comfort of this within your body? Because this is where we need to start. We need to find the comfort and the security here. And this is where we can always return back to, is the comfort and security here. All right. Now we're going to explore, again, a couple different ways of finding this expansion and contraction now. And one of the ways that we're going to move with this now is I want you to explore just for a moment, just moving your navel now to one side, come back to center, and then exploring moving, just trying to move your navel to the other side. Now other parts of your body may move with you. But from that center part, the navel and just below, just explore lightly moving that over towards one side of your mat. And then return to center. And explore moving that over to the other side of your mat. And moving back to center. Try that a couple more times and see where else you feel the natural radiation of this movement happening. I know we have around our sticky mats. But just see if you can physically move your body a little bit over to one side and back to center. And then physically the navel moving maybe an inch or two over to the other side of your mat. And then back to center. Do you notice how parts of your body move in relationship to this? Do you feel the difference that happens in your pelvis, your legs, your arms? Your head and neck. Because they're all connected. Good. So we've got a little bit of this kind of side to side movement going on now. Now all I want you to do is, if this feels comfortable, is maybe start to expand that a little bit. As that goes over to the side and the one leg lengthens away from it, maybe you want to lift up the opposite arm. And then come back to center with the navel. But let this happen from the navel, that the navel conda area itself. Moving it over to the other side, and maybe the legs then move. The whole pelvis might shift. And then the opposite arm might want to expand up. And feel how this is kind of coming across the body. Come back to center. Maybe play with that 1 or 2 more times. Again, if it's not feeling as comfortable with your legs straight, you could always bend the knees or bring them up and in toward your body a little bit. Just this sense of expansion in the navel, conda center, moving to one side on an inhale, returning back, exhale. Again, moving to the other side, inhale, and returning back, exhale. Good. Excellent. Now, let's play with this a little bit now, kind of getting the spine to do some rotation as we do some movement. So what you may want to explore is kind of a rolling side to side, but nice and gentle. So I'm going to suggest kind of starting, how might you start that roll? Does your one arm want to cross your body and go over? Does that one leg want to cross your body and go over? Maybe you come and you start your knees bend and you start to gently from the feet take them over to one side. And then inhale back to center or exhale. Start to explore maybe the legs and the arms going and rolling to the other side. And coming back to center. Again, exploring this with your breath. How do you want to bring this over side to side? And then if it feels comfortable, as you start to take your legs over the next time to one side, maybe allow your arms to go back to the other side. How does that feel? And come back to center. Bending the knees maybe a little bit, starting from the feet, the knees come over to one side. We start to roll to that side and the arms come back maybe to the other side. And we always come back to center. Good. How's this feeling? You feel kind of loosey-goosey, flowy? Does it feel like you're connecting with your body as you're doing this? All right, body connection. So now this next time, I'm going to have you come over and roll over, but you're going to stay on your abdomen this time. So you're going to come over and onto your belly. If it's more comfortable, make that little pillow with your two hands and rest your forehead on there. And we're going to play with some of these movements a little bit, but now we're on our belly. So the first thing that I want you to feel is on your belly is, can you tap into that feeling of expansion and contraction again? And because we now have the floor underneath our belly, so that sometimes here, I really feel that front and back expansion a little bit more, because now I have the floor and it kind of pushes my body into it. So it feels for me on my inhale, I almost kind of want to nod my body up a little bit and exhale back and down. So just imagine we're radiating again that breath out from the center, and maybe find a little up and down movement of your body in association with your breath. Not over breathing, still nice and easy, but a sense of expansion and contraction. So we're just going to progress this a little bit. And those of you guys who have had young children, you may recognize this progression. Taking now and just placing your hands underneath your shoulders. And as you inhale, imagine you're that little baby whose head is getting a little bit easier to lift. And you're starting to lift and you want to look at your world a little bit more and expand your world a little bit more. But then you exhale and your head gets that heavy again. You have to come back down. Inhale. Again, I come up and maybe I'm going to turn and look over a shoulder now, trying to see what else is out here in my world. And then I come back down and rest. So this can get a little bit bigger and a little bit more. And now my arms maybe get a little bit stronger and I can expand my energy and actually push into an arm and lift my body a little bit more. And then I come down to rest. From the center, breathing again into the center, my upper body fills, my arms getting stronger, and I can maybe look over to the other side now. And gently come back down. And now I'm starting to wiggle my hips a little bit and realize that with that breath now, maybe I can do the same thing. I can lift up, use an arm, but start to draw that knee up to the side. And then I have to come down and rest. And then the same thing with the other side, inhaling the breath from the center, radiating now into the other side, arm and leg. And I can come up this far. Allow yourself to explore this for a couple more breaths, and maybe even as you start to come up to one side, starting to even lift the hips up, almost on hands and knees, maybe rock a little back and forth, and then come down to rest. And try that to the other side. Inhaling, breath from center lifts me up, I can come onto hands and knees over here and maybe a little rocking forward and back. I'm almost there, and come back to rest. All right, just take your hands again underneath your forehead and rest for a moment. And feel how breath and movement, we're now coming into bigger movement, a little bit more energy, but still this expansion and contraction. How does it feel within your body to do this expansion and contraction? So once again, we're going to lift up this time onto hands and knees. Come on up as you're ready with your breath. And I just want you to explore kind of this rocking back and forth. Some of you may want to rock all the way back. Some of you are comfortable coming all the way back towards child's pose and forward. Think of that expansion up and down, perhaps. Good. Coming back then onto hands and knees, and let's explore just a little bit of kind of expanding that one side and the other to maybe how we crawl. Can I find my one arm and opposite leg moving with my breath to help me come forward? That feeling of I want to expand my world, I want to create a bigger world. And then coming back to know I can always come back to the center, to safety. If you want to turn sideways on your mat and just kind of explore, how would I go out to the side if I didn't have a lot of ability or movement yet? I didn't quite know how to stand up yet. How might I move out to the side, expand out to the side, and then come back to center? Good. And then if I still couldn't stand up yet, how might I want to try to move that forward and back in my body? Remember how we reached forward and back? How might I do that if I was just on hands and knees? Maybe that's my spine moving up into that cat position and then into cow. Explore that with your breath. This expansion and contraction. One direction, the other direction. Good. Maybe a little side to side like this. Remember how we moved on your back just from the navel Kanda Dantian center. Can you do that now on your hands and knees? All right. And if it's comfortable, come back for just a moment into child's pose, or put a blanket or block in between heels and knees and just rest here for a moment in this position. And again, just check in with how this is feeling in your body, the sense of expansion and contraction. Movement out to the front and back, side to side, up and down. Or even not worrying about any of those things and just feeling expansion and contraction coming from your center. All right. As you're ready, you've explored that a little bit. You have a sense of where you're at with your body. We're going to start to take the arms out in front from here. You may want to come up just a little bit from being fully in child's pose and just take it out to one side, the right or the left side. And you can come up, you can lift your hips up if you want, and really just come into this. Again, as you now hold a position for a little bit, can you feel expansion and contraction within this? There may be part of your body that just receives the expansion and part of your body that it receives the contraction. And then explore as you're ready, going over to the other side. And again, you can be up a little bit more on the knees and just reach back or out to the side. Just find the way in which this is going to help you find a place to then explore expansion and contraction in a different position. Come on back to center. All right. We're going to come up to standing. So in whatever way you want to, if you want to come up just bringing yourself into a mild lunge, or if you want to come up through down dog, any way that feels right for your body. And just find yourself coming up into an easy standing position. All right, so now that we're standing, we're going to again come back into this feeling of grounding, lifting, side, side, front, back, all from the center. So right here, as you're standing, just take a moment to just really feel your heels, feel your feet, feel your toes, without thinking about form in any way. Just simply find where is the best place for you to put your feet to feel that sense of grounding and reaching down. And with this, just take a moment. You may even want to bend your knees a little bit or push your hands down. This is my groundedness. This is my grounding. I feel secure, stable, connected. And now I'm going to breathe in, and can I expand up and out of that? And feel free to lift your arms up if you want to lift your arms up to help with that. You may even want to move with arms up on your inhale and bringing them back and down on your exhale. Play with the sense of expansion, grounding and lifting at the same time, and contraction, coming back to center. Just explore. You can take your arms out to the side if you want. I like to lift them up like this. And exhale. Maybe one more full breath of this. Good. So now let's play with that same side to sideness. And so you don't have to leave your legs here, but again, find them in a nice and good grounded position. And then explore with your breath, side to side, inhaling and exhaling. How do I want to expand out side to side and come back to center? Maybe one more breath of this. Good. And now think about that dimension of forward and back. How do you want to explore forward and back with your breath? So it may even be with arms and legs. So now we have these dimensions to play with. What I want you to do in the next couple minutes is now start to feel that your body doesn't just have to stay within those planes. Now we've gotten these planes of existence, but we can move in actually half one, half the other, 3/4 one, or not. So just for a moment, explore, how do I find fluidity in expansion and contraction? Where can I feel safe within my body in exploring this? So exploring that within your body and how it feels right and comfortable. And always coming back to center. Another minute or so. And what I'm going to encourage you now in this last minute is, if there were one of those dimensions that felt the least comfortable for you, what is a easy and safe way for you to just try to find? If forward and back, for example, was really comfortable for me, but side to side wasn't, can I do a little movement that explores that within a safe base? So I can maybe just expand just a little bit. All right. Take a couple more moments, a couple more movements, and coming back to center. How's it feeling? All right. Yeah, flowy. Good. So what we're going to take this into now is we're going to kind of flow into a gentle and easy sun salutation. We're not going to take the knee down today. What we're going to do is we're just going to simply step back, finding something that's like eventually like a crescent pose or a warrior one type position. But what I'm going to encourage you to do is to find the feeling of flowing, contracting, and expanding within each of these different postures of the sun salutation. So you may not stay in your standard up, down, forward, back. We'll do a little side to side. But within those side to sides, or those forwards and backs and ups and downs, is feel free to explore adding in a little bit more dimension, a little bit more expansion and contraction. So each of our sun salutations may look very different, and that's cool. All right, so here we go. We're going to start off again in mountain pose, but again, where is it that mountain pose feels right for you right now? So just this sense of earth, solidity. Feel free to let your knees bend a little bit and really connect. And then really connect all the way up through the fluidity here, the fire in the center, the wind and the space up above. Let that all feel in harmony. And let's bring the hands back together in front of the heart for a moment. And bow and remember your intention, who you're dedicating this to. May they also feel comfortable in their expansion and contraction right now. So from here, as you're ready, I want you to expand your arms up or out, however it feels, but just find this feeling of expansion here and contraction, and maybe just play for a moment in this position. This is a real up and down position, so maybe you want to do a little side to side or a little forward and back within the up and down. And when you feel ready, breathe yourself into your forward bend. Nice and easy. Allow yourself. You can let your knees stay soft and just explore this one. Again, this is kind of an up and down, a little bit forward and back with the body, but maybe explore a little side to side, or even a little bit more up and down. Maybe trying to bring head lower or hips higher, or bend the knees and come in and out a little bit. Maybe swaying a little side to side. Then as you're ready, you're going to come up part way. If you want, hands on the knees. And we're just going to step the right leg back. Take a moment to just feel this in the body. Now we kind of have the legs doing a back and forward. So maybe a little bit of more movement with the pelvis. You can be on the toes or have the heel down the back leg. Maybe a little side to side. And then maybe an expansion with the arms. They could go up. They could go out. Maybe they want to go forward and back. Explore now with the upper body. From here, I'm going to encourage you to explore twisting in the spine a little bit. How that might feel. And again, this can be really small and just simply doing this with your breath, or it can be big and expansive. Good. Now we're going to come and bring yourself down, taking the hands down and stepping it back. And you can always explore coming onto hands and knees. You can stay in a plank position. And how much can you find maybe a little bit of exploration here? Again, this side to side. Finding flowing, expanding into maybe some different movements here. Coming back to center. Whenever it is that you're ready, you're coming into either on your hands and knees and simply doing cat-cow, or coming down onto your belly and exploring coming up and down into cobra or up dog a couple times. And can cobra or up dog be something that's not just up and down? Can it also have other aspects to it? Expanding and contracting. Whenever it feels right to then move back either into down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, or into child's pose. And from either one of those, again, explore the sense of not just up and down, not just forward and back, not just side to side, but where is it that feels like safe to come back into, contract back into, and safe to expand into. Now just pause for a moment wherever you're at, either in your child's pose or in your down dog. Just check in and see how this is feeling within you. Again, we don't need to go into a place that doesn't feel healthy, but we want to find a place of being able to contract and expand from. So that even if something is new or a little different, it can still feel okay to explore. All right, when that time is ready, you're going to step forward with that right foot, whether you're in child's pose or you've been in your down dog. And again, maybe start to put your hand on that front knee and come up. And again here, now we have the other leg forward, kind of like a warrior one. You could have that back heel down, or you could have the toes just beyond the toes. And maybe now explore a little side to side here, because this again can end up being a real forward back kind of pose. What can feel safe to expand into? As you're ready and you want to add in arms, getting some work with the arms of expansion and contraction, exploring different ways, perhaps, and then always coming back to center. Taking, moving into, when you're ready, a little spiraling action or twisting action in the spine. And then whenever it feels right, we're going to come back, stepping back and finding forward bend. And allow yourself, again, to feel the freedom of expansion and contraction in any dimension that feels right, safe, maybe just a little different exploration. Always being able to come back into that center. And again, whenever it feels organically ready, bringing yourself up, coming back, and again, expanding up with the arms up, but possibly finding movement. And whenever you're ready, returning back and coming once again to center. Hands to the heart. And as you find this feeling of centeredness, groundedness, just softening or closing your eyes for a moment. And come back to this simple expansion and contraction of your breath. Connecting with all the cells of your body that are doing this very same contraction and expansion. To all the cells of all of the things of our world, expanding and contracting. As you're ready, softly opening your eyes and releasing your arms. How'd that feel? Cool. All right. We are going to come down. And what I want you to do is have one of your blocks. We're going to come down and just do a little restorative bridge pose. So I'm going to have Elodie come down. And Elodie, if you can show from the side for a moment, if you're not sure what I'm talking about. And so hopefully your body and your spine is pretty well loosened up. And so this is just going to be a resting point for a moment. You're going to keep your knees bent, have a brick or two, and then just put so that the bricks, or you might have big books if you don't have yoga blocks at your home, underneath your sacrum so that you're supported and comfortable. And right here, basically it's the reason why this position is nice is because it's going to be an exposing and kind of lifting the center, but we're resting into it. Our heart and chest are open and exposed, but we're resting into it. All right, so go ahead and grab your supports. Thank you, Elodie. Go ahead and get on you. And find a position. I know some people like to be really up high in this. That's great. I'm going to suggest that you have the bricks across so that they come across your sacrum. You're not on a narrow part here because we're going to stay here for a couple minutes. Just allow your arms to be in a comfortable position. If it's comfortable for you to have the back of your hands on the ground, the palms facing up, great. If that's not comfortable, turn them to make them comfortable. Your feet in a comfortable position so that you can now start to release your body down into the security of your block or blocks or your books. And take some nice, feeling that kind of expansion, contraction of your breath. Now in stillness. Let go of thought or mind or analysis and just simply be within your body right now. Feel this sense of here we are in a position that could be fairly vulnerable if we weren't feeling safe. So it's, again, a way of kind of embodying this expansion and contraction, but in stillness right now. We are allowing our heart and our front body to be open. Check your jaw and just see if you can soften your jaw. Check your eyes and forehead. See if you can soften your eyes down. Continue to just be aware of this gentle expansion and contraction. The rhythm of you. I am stable and secure. I am fluid and flowing. I have the energy to support me. As my world transforms, I can ride the waves of that, the winds of change. And I have the spaciousness within my heart and mind to go with that. We're going to stay here for just a few more breaths, but if you're feeling like it's time to come out, you would just simply ground into your feet, lightly lift up and take your blocks or books out from underneath them. If you're comfortable, just stay here and enjoy this for just another few breaths. So whenever it feels right, just find your feet again. Just ground into them for a moment and lightly lift your hips up off of the supports. Take them off to the side and allow your spine to just nicely come back down onto earth. Go ahead and instinctively you may want to bring your knees up and into your body or stretch yourself out. And with your knees in, maybe just do a little rocking or some massaging of your spine, your sacrum, your shoulders. We're going to just do a reclined twist, just for a little bit to each side. So if you have a favorite one to do on your back, please do that one. If you're not sure, come with me, just draw your knees in and just with an exhale, bring them lightly over to the left and use, if you need to, a block or a blanket, either underneath or in between. If your arms are comfortable out to the sides, let them stay out to the side. If that right arm is off the ground a little bit, again, you may want to use a little support underneath there. You don't have to turn your head to the right arm if that's not comfortable. Just keep it looking up at the ceiling. And again, check in with your jaw, softening your jaw, softening your eyes. Feeling with every exhale, yourself returning back to that center, your navel softening down towards the spine. If there's anything that's still feeling like it hasn't quite gotten moved out of you and it feels a little tense, just take a nice deep full breath in, open your jaw lightly and go, ah. Do a couple nice deep sighs on exhale. And you may find that you can release maybe a little bit more. If it's tough for you these days to get out of that thinking brain, just think about trying to bring your breath in that and soften your front of your face. Allow your brain to settle into the back. And whenever it's feeling like you're ready, this side's gotten some nice relaxation, you're ready to move into the other side, stay for a couple more breaths or even a minute longer if you need to. Go ahead and come on over to the other side. Moving the knees over to the right, using any supports that may be necessary to help you relax into this position. Softening and feeling and allowing a softening again in the jaw, in the eyes and the shoulders. Feeling yourself coming back into that center, the navel, just below the navel. Feeling that releasing and relaxing. Perhaps again, a couple nice full breaths, softening the jaw, on the exhale. The front of our brain softening and relaxing down. Again, staying for some more breaths if this side is asking you to. but anytime you're ready, coming back to center. And just starting to then find your way into your comfortable corpse pose. Using the supports that will help your body feel just right. Supports underneath your knees if that's what your body wants. Blanket underneath the head if that's comfortable. Finding and feeling that you have the tools that will help your body now release. Shavasana. So just take a moment, and with all that wonderful movement that you did, just find any last movements to help yourself come into a place of stillness now. You may want to think from the center, and radiating out from there, is my pelvis comfortable? Is my shoulders comfortable? Are my shoulders comfortable? Are my arms and legs comfortable? Is my head comfortable? Find and feel that you're in just the right place. Any last things that your body, your mind wants you to do to come into stillness. Now, having found this place of stillness, become aware just for a moment of sounds off in the distance. Don't worry about thinking or analyzing about what they are. Just simply allow your ears to go out, expand, go from sound to sound. Come back in, maybe things that are just outside of the room that you're in. Again, going from sound to sound, awareness, but without analyzing. Then begin to hear just right around you, right around your body. Sound to sound. Come into the feeling of your body lying on the floor. The contact of the back of your body with the surfaces that it's lying on. The feeling of your clothing on your skin. Then come underneath the skin to the sense of the underside of your skin. Feel the gentle movement of the skin of your front body in response to your breath coming in and going out. Be aware of the muscles and bones of your body, the sense of them creating the form of who you are. Become aware of the organs of your body. The liquids of your body. This gentle and continual expansion, contraction, all the way down to the level of the cells of your body. Expanding and absorbing what they need, contracting and releasing what they no longer need. Every breath, you bring in all that you need. Every breath, you release all that no longer serves you. Allow yourself now to rest within the rhythm of you. in that beautiful heart center. And just feel the deepening of you and the relaxing into the rhythm of you. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushti Vardhanam Urva Rukamiva Bandhanam Mrityor Mukshiyamamrita Om. Just take a moment before you begin moving to feel once again your body, to be aware of what the Shavasana might have brought you, what you might have been able to release and what you may have gained. As you're ready, gently then begin to move, maybe tapping into once again that feeling of expansion and contraction lightly with your breath. Eventually coming over and on to your side. Take a few breaths there. And then as you're ready, allow yourself to nice and easily come back up. I wanted to have some minutes here to do a little bit of breath work at the end of this class. So finding your comfortable seat once again. We're going to be here for about 5 minutes. So as you find yourself comfortable again with that tall spine, I want you to just again pause to observe how your body, how your breath is feeling within you right now. One of the practices that I find most beneficial for me to help me kind of both ground and yet feel like I have the energy to move forward in my life is a practice of alternate nostril breathing, or Nadi Shodhana. So we're going to do just a very simple form of this for a couple minutes here. And the classic Vishnu Mudra, where you take your first 2 fingers of your hand, and traditionally it's supposed to be your right hand, but we're Westerners, we can use whatever hand, is taking the first 2 fingers down the center of your hand and using the inside of your ring and your thumb. If that's not comfortable, just simply use your thumb and another finger that feels comfortable. You could also, as an alternative, rest your 2 fingers in your eyebrow center to help support your hand. If your arm gets tired, even without changing your breath pattern, you can always switch your hands. So we'll get whatever hand you want to use first, comfortable and up by your face. Take then an inhale through both nostrils. On your exhale, close your right nostril and breathe out through the left. Then inhale back through the left nostril. Close the left nostril, breathe out through the right. Inhaling through the right. Switching just before the exhale. Softening or closing the eyes. And just simply allowing yourself to find the rhythm and pattern of a smooth and even inhale and exhale. You may find that as you settle into this, your breath might be able to get slightly longer. Just keeping the exhale and the even inhale. changing to the other nostril just before the exhale. The pressing in to close the nostril can be just light and even, just easy enough to close that nostril. You don't need to push into your nose. Now, as you continue this, imagine that your breath is coming in through that open nostril and right into the center of the brain, then dropping down to the pelvic floor. Your exhale brings it from the pelvic floor back up through the open side on that side of the spine to the center of the brain and out through the open nostril. Following the breath as it comes into the center of the brain, down that side of the spine, pelvic floor. Exhale arising from the pelvic floor up through the other side to the center of the brain and out through that nostril. The smoothness of your breath, the evenness of the breath, the evenness of our expansion and contraction. And the next time that your exhale is out through the left nostril, let that be the completion of this practice, and just simply then release your hand back down, keeping your eyes with a soft gaze or closed. And just notice the effects of your alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana. Taking and feeling once again the sense of this gentle breath within you. The groundedness through your legs, the fluidness within your pelvis, the fire of transformation in the center part of your torso. The wind within from the throat to the eyes, and the spaciousness of the top of your head extending out and up. If it's comfortable to turn your palms to face upward, doing so and joining the thumbs and index fingers together. In this mudra or gesture of consciousness, feeling the consciousness of all that we are, the consciousness of our expansion and our contraction. May it bring us out into the world with safety and care. May we always know where our safety is to return back to. Our home that we carry within us at all times. Bringing our palms together in front of the heart and bowing to honor all you are, all you experience. We'll close the practice as we began, chanting Om in the Uchara manner with an Ah low, U at the heart, the nasal sound behind the eyes, and allowing the silence to rise up through the crown of the head. Exhaling together and inhaling. Namaste. Thank you for your practice. Thank you guys. Brave new world. I hope this helps.